Hi there. How are you enjoying our new format called Reflections of Life? I thought today I would share a little from the garden. Life is suddenly very quiet here. We have a school over the road, so we normally are very aware of children and school bells and announcements, and then taxis that come to fetch the children, and all kinds of sounds that come with a school. Another reason why everything has gone quiet is because of load shedding. Suddenly, all our machines and things that vibrate and buzz in the background go very quiet and the lights go off. And we find our normally very busy world reduced to a flickering candle flame. We're having to get used to planning our day around schedules and times and when we might have light or when we might not. And even those keep changing. We don't really know where we are with the schedules. The one thing that doesn't change is God Himself. Society changes. The greedy people at the top are taking all the money of the poor. We have lots of things that are going wrong for us. But God is constant. God is the same. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we must not forget that, because that is our constant. All too often, we go into panic mode when everything goes wrong. And there's war in the world, and there are floods, and right now in winter it's cold. People are very uncomfortable, freezing. We're hearing of people who are starving, and it's easy to get caught up in those things and get into a downward spiral of thinking. Now, I'm not saying bury our heads in the sand, but we need to keep focused on who Jesus is. 2 years ago, everything was also very quiet because we were all locked down and we were hiding from a pandemic, a disease. Now that side of things seems to have improved, but there's war and there's all these chaotic things that are still causing panic in us. When we look at the flowers around us, we realize that nature doesn't panic. Here we are in South Africa in the middle of winter, and we still have blooming flowers, and they look beautiful. And even though they at times are subject to droughts and heat and other things, nature just carries right on, even when we try to destroy it. So we need to learn a lesson, I believe, from the flowers. Our Lord Himself used this example in Matthew 6, verse 27, when He said, "And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will He not much more clothe you, O you of little faith?" The world is very old, and it has gone through many changes. But God, who has been there from the very beginning, has been there with every change. Our constant Lord, who made the world and who made the people in it, has seen the world through all its changes, and He will continue to see His people through whatever changes may come their way. When I was a very young Christian, I learnt the Prayer of Serenity written by Reinhold Niebuhr. Most people only know the first verse, and it is attributed normally to the Alcoholics Anonymous group, who have taken this as their creed. It says, "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." But it goes on. It says, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Reinhold Niebuhr. What a lovely prayer, and a pity that most people actually only know the first part of it. But a very deep prayer, and it says so much about how to get on with life, knowing that God is in control, rather than always feeling frustrated and angry about everything. So let's hang in there. God has not given up on us, and He will not let us be destroyed. I rather like the passage from Malachi 3 verse 6, and especially in the Amplified Version, where it says, "For I am the Lord, I do not change, but remain faithful to my covenant with you. That is why you, O sons of Jacob, have not been destroyed." God is still in control. Thank you to those of you who are sharing on this group. Makes a change from same old face all the time, and I'm also benefiting from what you are sharing. Please keep sharing.